This will be a quick walkthrough of what the forums look like from the student's perspective, so you'll know how best to write a prompt for each of the forums, because you'll know what the students see when they get in there. Now, I will have telegraphed what kind of forum it is in each one of these. Clearly, you wouldn't need to do that for your students, but since I'm designing these for faculty to look at, there's that. So for this forum, basically, is have a prompt and 2 replies. So what is the best breed of dog? Now, the reason I've chosen the standard form for general use is you'll see that each of these has the title of that discussion shows up first. So you can think of when this might be reasonable. All these people have already answered this, and I'm going to add my own discussion topic rather than reply to them. Okay, so my own discussion topic is going to be the dog and then some reasons why I chose that dog. So after they do that, they'll scroll down and they'll put in some language. And I'm obviously just putting in filler language. I'm going to hit post to forum. And now what the student will see is they will see all of these responses, and each of them basically has a title that shows up beforehand. Now, the other thing, if I'm supposed to respond as a student, what I need to do is I need to come up here and click one of these, and then I'll get into what that person said. So I'm now going to look at what Betty Benson said and the people who have responded to her. I will point out that this has a nice option here where the student can see the oldest first, the newest first, or in a threaded form. A threaded form looks like this. Now I can go through as this individual and click on any of these and see what has already been stated there, or the student comes to nested form, and nested form is what they call blog-like. So here you'll see this was responded, and these are all indented a little bit, and that's individuals responding to one another. Then it does become pretty obvious how they can reply, and she'll respond with that same information. And then it says post to forum, and we're good. So I'm going to now go to the next kind of forum. The second student view I'll show you is standard forum in a blog-like format. I really can't tell the difference between these two, and I've looked at it at some level, but let's go ahead and take a quick look at that so you know. So the student clicks in here. They're not searching forums. So this is a distractor, but it's not necessary. The student will come in here, and you might just say, do you want to hit add a discussion topic first? And that will open up this window right here where they put in their topic, which is, of course, the title that they will see at the beginning. And then it will ask them to put some information following that. So I'll have the student do that. And then the student will come down here and hit post to forum. Now it's in there, and you'll take a look at this as you scroll down. You can see they can see each student's discussion topic at the beginning, and then they can follow it from there. Now, in order to follow that, if they come up here, they can get the link to this individual's entries. But what they should be doing is coming down here to where it says discuss this topic and clicking that. There's 7 replies on this one, so I go to Devin's, what Devin started with his topic. Now, here's an interesting thing. This allows me to see it in the same formats I showed you earlier. So this isn't in a blog-like format at all. It's actually just a different variation on how the initial part is set up, but I don't see the distinction. But they can show the same options here I showed you on the earlier one, and then we can come down here, and each one of these, how they reply is they just follow this. They can follow this student and reply to the next student, and the next, and the next. So that's all there is to that. The next student view we'll see is that of a single simple discussion. Now in this one, they are not asking to come up with topics at the beginning. They're only responding to the instructor, but it's not that obvious how this works. This is the instructor prompt to which you must reply first. Share your thoughts about the value of paper currency versus digital currency like Bitcoin. So that's what the prompt is going to be when they get in there and they find out in advance. If I click in here, take a look at this. I've got, this shows up. This is the prompt. Then what they have to do first of all is they read that prompt, they have to hit reply. All they can do is reply. So your instructions should say, when you get in there, reply to the initial prompt by hitting the reply button or the reply word, if that makes sense. But I'm just going to have the student say post to forum. Now this student has replied to the instructor. If they were the first student in here, they wouldn't see any of this. All they would see is that initial prompt and reply. But that is what they have to do for this one, is reply, because they're not starting their own conversation. But you can see how these are nested. One inside the other, you can tell who's responding to whom. But let's move on to the next thing. Now, each person posts one discussion. The prompt has to basically let them know that they're starting a discussion. Now, when might you use this? Well, I've got please share your favorite recipe and comment on 2 others. So when I get in here, I'm going to actually have to put in my own topic. And when I click it, the student sees add discussion topic as what they need to do. So you know that. So if this student hits add my discussion topic, then the first thing I'll do is title it, and then I'll put that in there. Then I'll post that to the forum. Now at this point in time, as you scroll down, you'll see that other students have done this same thing. They each have their own recipe posted, and there's some logic in this if you want each of them to have a distinct beginning place where someone's going to come back and they're going to comment on, say, this individual's lasagna. So if you click into that as the student, she sees that, and then there's a reply function there, and we'll go on to the next. And the last type is also a little tricky, and it's because it's asking students to have an opinion and share that opinion before they see the opinions of others, because we don't want them to be influenced. So let's say for some reason my class, I wanted to know what everyone's favorite song was, and I don't want them to be influenced by other people's songs. In this case, I have your least favorite food. I don't want them to be influenced by one another. So I set that up, and now to go into this, that, by the way, is the prompt they're about to see. But you'll see in this, the instructor has to have a prompt that precedes anybody else entering stuff. After you create this as an instructor, you have to go back to it and then put the first comment has to be yours, and that will also be your prompt. So this is what it should be in there. So I'm going to click into it, and you'll see the directions say, this is a Q&A forum, share your opinion, and then after 30 minutes or more, log back in a second time. That's after that period of time, then the system will allow them to see other people have entered. Now, a lot of people have already entered the information here, but it turns out I can't see that, okay? If I come down here and I try to click into it, it's going to tell me, oh, you can't do that. And now I'm going to go back to the Q&A forum. And now what do I have to do? I have to respond to this guy. So I have to go to instructor prompt. There's the same information, but I've had to put it in a second time, as I said. And now as a student, I can reply to this. But this did not actually allow me to have like a title at the beginning of that. So this has a different kind of a look and a feel to it. I hit post to forum. I'm now still logged in as that student. And more than half an hour has passed. That student can come back to get the same forum. This time when they log in, it gives them the same information that they have to wait. However, now when they go to the instructor prompt, they can then see that. Don't be distracted by these links. This is not intuitive, but if the student comes over to instructor prompt again, this time as they click that, then they see the responses of their fellows, and they may also, of course, reply to them. So that was a real fast overview of the student view of the 5 types of forums there are. I will be creating some more tutorials on the instructor side of that as well. Thank you very much.